Well, hi there, Mr. Nelson again for the design class here at Lindbergh High School here in the shop. So this is the second part of this practice piece, second video of this practice piece. Yesterday you got to the point where, I'm going to tilt this down slightly. Yesterday you got to the point where you were able to make this, you were able to drive in that screw, it's able to swivel. You can move it some, and it's equal distance from here to here, from here to here. I showed you a couple tricks to be able to do that, which is cool to be able to do. All right, next thing we want to do, last thing we want to do is to be able to take this piece and be able to attach it here to your 6-inch block. This again is the block where you did your layout and your nailing, and on the other face, this side right here that has nothing on it, this is where you're going to be attached. All right, and I'm going to put my camera down so you get to see this and to see all the tools and different items that we're going to be using for this. There we go. So as you see right here, we got our hammer, we have our block of wood, we have the piece we worked on yesterday, we have our tape measure. We do have our saw, although I don't think we're going to use that today. We will be using our pencil. We have our needle nose pliers. We may not be using those. But we have our wood glue out here. And this, we're also going to be practicing just putting down a little wood glue and what we need to do for that. Okay, so let's start off by going over the instructions as to what we're doing here. First off, we have to do is to mark our layouts on here. So I want to place this down so it is equal distance from side to side, and it's flush on the ends here. If you notice the ends, both of these were cut to 6 inches, so we should be able to get them flush here. Now I want this to be equal distance side to side. So let's do our little trick that we did earlier, is I'm going to put this flush over here. This is the distance that's going to be the two sides, so we just need to measure that, which is 2 inches. So obviously, we just need to have this an inch from each one of the edges. And if it's an inch from each one of the edges, then it'll be equal distance. So to do that, I'm just going to make a mark here at 1 inch. And just to make sure everything's lining up, I'm going to make a mark down here at 1 inch. So I have my 2 marks at 1 inch. And that's right, if I'll put it right on those marks, then we'll be equal distance on this side and this side. Okay, next thing I need to do is to put my layout as to where my nails are going to go. We're going to put a couple nails here, and then we're also going to glue this down to make sure it doesn't move. So the next thing I want to do is on this, and I want this to be equal distance centered. This is this is 1.5 inches. So I want to make a mark at 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to make another mark at 3/4 of an inch. So I have a mark at 3/4 of an inch, and just like I showed you earlier, you can use anything. We just want to draw a straight line here. And so I'm just getting one of these pieces of wood we had that we used earlier, lining those up with our piece. So now we have a straight line down the middle. And we're going to want to put a nail at 1 inch in and 4 inches in. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this way. And I just want to put a mark right there at the 4-inch mark and at the 1-inch mark. Now I want to drive a nail there and a nail there. I want this set down right there, so it's sitting on top right by where those lines are, so it's equal distance. And lastly, we're going to put some glue on the bottom side here to help adhere it down there further. So to get our glue, first off, you're going to pull the top up. I'm going to shake it down a little bit. Going to just put an even bead along the bottom. You don't need to put too much. I'm going to push this back down so that it dries, so it doesn't dry out, and move this back over to the side. So that's about as much glue as you want to put down. You are going to be using a lot of glue in this class, so just be aware of that. So I'll give you a little practice doing that. And again, I'm going to line this up. Now I'm going to drive a nail there and there. So I'm going to come over here and take off 2 of my nails. Well, I got a couple left. That's all right. That's the purpose of this, is to practice. So now I have that lined up. I'm going to take my first one and just put it right there. Line it up, make sure it's on that line, make sure it's flush. Feeling good. Whoop, I just moved it. So now we're good. I move my thumb out of the way so it doesn't get knocked. And there's my other line. So there we go. Now I'm going to place my second nail right there. There we go. And that piece still rotates. That's good to know. Okay, so that's your final project for this. Used a lot with your pencil and your tape measure. Oh, there's my tape measure. I thought I lost it. Use my tape measure, use my pencil, did a lot of measurement, trying to be as accurate as possible with my measurements. And I've attached something and learned how to use a little bit of glue to do that. All right, once you're done with this, what I want you to do is take a picture and upload this to me so you get credit for this. Good job on your project.